It was really fun doing ice climbing, but sadly we only did one time.
There's some snow in the house over there.
Buenos dias. It's 11:30 midnight. No, it's not even the next day yet. But we're fully equipped now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm gonna put a 5th layer. And I am back in the warmth of the sun and my beautiful garden, no less. So I wanted to give you a recap about yesterday, but so my phone died just when we were about to reach the peak, and we didn't manage to get any other photos or videos along the way back, which is really dumb, I know, cause hey kitty, Mila, Mila, stop, Mila. Which is a real pity because yeah, the views were gorgeous. Mila! The views were gorgeous, the sun was shining bright, it was a clear sky. So well, here I am recounting everything. Hopefully you can paint a picture with what I described. Yeah, so we set off at 12 midnight. 12:30 maybe, yeah, with our gear all equipped, and then we were tied into a rope. So the guy was in front of us, I'm in the middle, Celeste was at the back. We were tied in just in case, you know, for safety precautions, like it can be gradual, the steepness, the slope can be pretty steep at times, and so this is really for safety precaution. And we were really just hiking step by step, step by step. It was really quiet except for the sound of the wind, which is cold, yeah. Yeah, we were going step by step. Time flew by. The next time we checked our watch, it was like 4 or something, 4 in the morning, and we were like, holy shit, we hiked for 4 hours soundlessly. Wow. It hadn't been easy. So it's my very first hike or trekking on the snow up to the summit. Whoops, my video stopped for some reason. So I was continuing my story about climbing this wall of ice. It was the only way up. There was no other way. It was very scary because it wasn't like the usual ice climbing that I did in Fox Glacier, New Zealand when I was working there. During my working holiday, we were ice climbing for recreational purposes, but this one, it was like life or death. You know, like if we didn't ice climb up properly, we might fall and roll down the slopes, and it is adios. Also, we had to do it quickly because it was life and death, and the wind was so strong, and we just had to go past this obstacle quickly. And so when I reached the top, I was super out of breath. I was like, I don't know. It was just like there wasn't enough air for me in my body, and I just wanted to sit down and catch my breath. But the guy kept tugging me and making us move. And I was like, I can't move anymore. I can't even breathe. But the wind was so strong. Yeah, I was swaying from the wind. It was a very dangerous path after the ice wall, and so I think I collapsed once or twice, and the guy kept pulling me, and I was like, holy shit, okay, I'm gonna go. Until we finally found a safer place with less wind to rest and catch my breath. And the whole time I just felt like I had breakfast, right, but I just felt like a pit in my stomach. You know when you have food poisoning and you purge everything out and you're just left on the bed with no energy? That was what I felt like. I had no energy for a couple of times, so I tried to snack on chocolates and Haribos, which is my favorite trail snacks, which didn't really help much really. And then we were hiking for non-stop for like 5-6 hours by the time we saw the first vestiges of the sun rise. It was about 6 in the morning, and I think by then I was pretty done. Me and Selassie both. We were like, this is the peak. We have to go turn right behind the peak, behind the crack, and then turn left again. The guide was telling us to reach to the top, and we were like, holy shit, we are done. If it took us 6 hours to climb all the way up here, it's probably gonna take us another 3 hours or so to get back down. And we were already running out of energy and feeling so dead. And so we took a small break, had a discussion, and decided to go back down. By then we reached like almost 6,000 meters, so I was pretty proud of myself. I would say so. What a birthday trip, huh? Yeah, by then my fingers and my toes were so numb, couldn't even move them. The guy was very kind. He had to put on my jacket for me because I couldn't move. So I mean, until today, it's been a day later, and my fingers still feel numb, tingly feeling. I don't know why. I think they're coming off. Yeah, and so like we took a small break, decided to start heading down. So Selassie was in front, I was in the middle, and the guide was behind, so that he could break our fall in case we slip. He is really professional. Like, he's 60 years old. His name is Felix. He's 60 years old, Bolivian. He lives in La Paz. He does this climb, I don't know, this week he's done it twice. So he's done it like, he does it multiple times a month as a job, mountaineering guide, which is really impressive because the amount of energy it takes to ice climb, to withstand the cold, yeah, all this is incredible. And so we managed to take some pictures, really pretty. The sunrise was really gorgeous. I'll show it to you, but that was the last of the pictures that we took on top of the mountains, and it was, oh my god, it was so beautiful. As we went down, you know how like you have cake and then there's frosting on top and it's shiny and smooth and glittery? That was what it looked like on the slopes of the mountains of Huayna Potosi. It was so beautiful. I wish we could camp there and pitch a tent and just admire the view, but no, we had to go down. It was a constant rhythm, constant pace for us to go down, and I couldn't really move. Like, I had to focus on each step I take in front of me, otherwise I might lose my balance and roll down the hill. So yeah, we saw a lot of icicles, we saw glacier caves, really cool. We saw ice flowing, snow melting. Yeah, the rolling hills of ice, it was so beautiful. By then it got really sunny very quickly, and yeah, we had to put on our sunglasses. That was a lifesaver. Always bring your sunglasses when you're going snow trekking. The crampons did really well with the gaiters, so to protect the ankles. Yeah, I think it was a rather smooth trip. It was just really challenging. Probably, I wouldn't say physically challenging, but mentally challenging because of the altitude, I would say. Yeah, like, I was very fortunate. I had no symptoms of altitude sickness. Over here, the local solution to altitude sickness is coca leaves. So you make some coca leaves in a tea and drink it. So I drank it before I left. Also, you can chew it. Yeah, very fortunate that we had no qualms with the altitude sickness. Yeah, but when we went down, when we reached the base camp, by then it was 9 in the morning, and I just collapsed. Like, I was just sitting there and not moving. I couldn't even remove my equipment. You know, after a few minutes, took everything out, went to bed and collapsed. I don't know for how long, but yeah. It wasn't even the end of our day because we had to pack everything back into our backpacks, hike the same way down to the base camp, to the very first base camp, which it took us 4 hours to get up, and it took us 2 hours, 1.5 hours to get down. Yeah, but it felt so much at that time because we already done 9 hours in the sun, in the snow, hiking up in the cold, frigid cold. my nose, the mucus kept flowing, like up to a point where I just gave up. Yeah, it was really challenging. I wouldn't say it's any easier. I thought it would be easier than the trek that we did in Salento because it's just a different environment, just a different terrain. That one was a lot of forest, a lot of mud. This was totally dry, with the exception of the snow, of course. Yeah, it was really different, very mentally challenging, which is what I love and hate. I hate carrying the backpack. I don't know, I can't seem to find a way to carry the backpack properly such that it doesn't hurt my shoulders. I've been putting the weight on my waist, but somehow it just always hits the bone of my shoulder, and my neck and shoulders always feel bad, and my back too. So I'm still in recovery mode. Apart from that, yeah, everything went really well. After that, at the base camp, there was a car to pick us up to go back to La Paz, which is great. Yeah, the terrain is dry, which is most of Bolivia really. The terrain is always dry. At the top there was a lot of mountains, very pretty mountains or snow peaks, really picturesque. I'm really glad we got it out of the way because I've been thinking about climbing Huayna Potosi for almost a month now, and I thought, okay, let's make my birthday special. I'm gonna book it on my birthday, and so that's what we did, and I'm really glad I did it. I mean, trekking, getting in the outdoors, exposing ourselves to harsh conditions in the outdoors is never an easy walk in the park, but it really challenges you, and I feel reborn because of how stripped I was during the hike. Like, we didn't wash our faces, didn't even brush my teeth on the day we went up at 12 midnight. Everything was just stripped bare. I was just like, even my mind was blank really. All I could think about was just one step at a time because of how much it consumes my body when I get exposed to these conditions. And it just serves as a reminder to us that really nature is wonderful, and it's harsh, and it's relentless, and sometimes it's a reflection of us. That's a lesson to take from nature, I suppose. It's really bare. There's beauty in nature on its own. We don't have to fabricate anything. We don't have to embellish anything. It's just there for us to appreciate if we know how to appreciate, if we open our eyes to it. So I'm blabbering so much, but yeah, that's one of the lessons that I took from this hike. It was really how, like, I know I'm not fit. Selassie is not unfit either, but we were really struggling up there. Yeah, it wasn't easy, but it was so cool to experience it. I would highly encourage everyone. Okay, you've got to have a certain level of fitness to climb up from our second base camp, which was 5,200 to 6,000 meters. That was the hardest. Yeah, it definitely takes a certain level of fitness to be able to do that. Definitely want to train your endurance and your aerobic capacity, because that's really the main challenge. It's not like we had no muscles, you know. But definitely, really try to make time for it if you are in Bolivia, in La Paz, because it's one of the most popular treks. I don't know why it's so popular, because it's not easy. I expect only seasoned trekkers to really want to do it, but it is pretty popular here. The tourism's been down. Every single tour company that I wrote to, they were like, oh, there is no business, because Bolivia has made it really hard for people to enter, and with all the restrictions, like I had to pay a bunch of money, almost $200, to get my visa as a Singaporean, as a Singapore citizen, to stay for 90 days, almost $200. It wasn't easy. We had to get a negative PCR test to come in here as well. So tourism's been down a lot. But the guide said usually in normal periods there could be 30 to 50 people doing this hike every day. We were very lucky. I guess I like the solitude. Really, we had the cabins all to ourselves, although it could fit easily almost 20 people in the cabins, in the base camps. But we had it all to ourselves, so that was nice. Yeah.